Good morning. Here we are at Fantasy Island here in the UK. There are, I believe, 5 roller coasters in this park, or maybe 6, because apparently in 2024 a new roller coaster is opening up, which is a Magic Mouse XXL, but I'm not sure if it's actually open already. So I'm just going to count 5 coasters today here. And maybe 6, we'll see. Anyway, we're going to explore this park with this cool looking Vekoma looping coaster, but also this custom SLC coasters, which I'm looking really forward to the Odyssey here, this one here. I'm just pretty excited to try out these coasters. But anyway, let's get into the park and enjoy our day here at Fantasy Island. During a 2-week trip, I finally got to explore the biggest parks and roller coasters in the UK, and in this series I'm focusing on one thing: what is the UK's best roller coaster? In today's episode we're checking out the coasters at Fantasy Island. And here we are inside of Fantasy Island, because Fantasy Island is more like it looks like a big fairground with some outside portions and outside market and such, but there's also a pretty big indoor part also, and this is where we are at this moment. We just got our wristband to ride all the rides all day long. Now we're going to rank all the coasters here. There are, like I said, 5 or maybe 6, we'll see, roller coasters in this park. So which one is going to be the best and which one is going to be the worst? Let's see. And also let's see how these coasters here rank compared to all the other ones we already did in the UK. I'm going to be very honest, I'm not expecting too much from the rides here, but maybe some rides are going to surprise me. Let's see. Now let's start right away with the Millennium, which is a Vekoma looping coaster. Let's do it. Alright, that was our first ride here in Fantasy Island, the Millennium, the Vekoma looping coaster. In my opinion, it's a very smooth ride. That's a good thing about it, but the layout is rather tame in my opinion. It has some, rather a bit more powerful inversions, but it's not really a very spectacular, very thrilling, very forceful ride. It's just mediocre. There's no airtime moments at all, for example, also, which I really love on roller coasters. So yeah, at this moment, because it's the first ride we're doing here, it's at the first spot obviously, but I'm pretty sure this is not going to be the best one here, because I kind of hope that the Odyssey is going to be better. I already know for sure this is not going to be a top 5 roller coaster in my UK ranking, but let's see how the other coasters here rank. Let's find the entrance of the Odyssey. Anyway, the Odyssey here, the Vekoma SLC coaster, is not open yet. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be open later today, we'll see. But we're going to do the next one here, the Apple coaster, which is, it looks like it's going to be the most spectacular ride in this park, as you can see. So let's do this one. Apple coaster done. Definitely not the best coaster in this park. It's at the 2nd place at this moment, behind Millennium coaster. We only saw it ride one time when we were on the ride. Afterwards we haven't seen it riding anymore, so maybe it's going to open later again. I don't know, very weird. Anyway, Apple coaster is just a stupid Apple coaster. Stupid kiddie coaster. Anyway, definitely not worth a rewrite, and at 2nd place at this moment. And after Millennium and the Apple Coaster, we were planning on doing this one, Jellikins, but as you can see, this coaster seems to be like for really little children, because there's like a roof on the coaster trains, and I don't think we can actually fit in this ride, so we're not going to even try it. Anyway, so it's going to be 4 coasters in the ranking today, not 5, because we're not going to ride Jellikins. Anyway, next one is a coaster we are able to ride, which is a Mac powered coaster. I believe it's a Mac powered coaster. Let's see. It's a powered coaster. Let's check it out. Alright, we did Rhombus Rocket here, the powered coaster. It's definitely not a Mac powered coaster. The rail looks very Mac-like, but the train is definitely not a Mac train. Anyway, is it a good one? It's actually a pretty fun powered coaster. I was kind of surprised by it. It's not a long one, it's a pretty short one. It's very smooth, it has some fun moments. It's just a fun family coaster. So at this moment, in my opinion, second spot behind Millennium, but we still have to do, of course, the Odyssey, which I hope, fingers crossed, will open today. And otherwise, Millennium, which is not really a very spectacular ride, is going to be the #1 spot in this park. But we'll see. Anyway. News, because we saw the Odyssey testing and now we see people walking in line, and so we're going to immediately try out the Odyssey, the Vekoma SLC coaster. Okay, we did the Odyssey here. We did it 2 times, 1 time in the back row and 1 time in the 3rd row, somewhere more in the front. I gotta say, it's a pretty rough SLC coaster, although in the back the first part is a lot smoother than the second part. The second part was really rough, but in the front, yeah, more in the front, it was just a rough ride the whole time. It's pretty rough. It also has pretty strange trains. I'm not sure if they're actually from Vekoma or not, but they have a completely different restraints than the normal SLC coasters. So for example, Matthias, who is a little bit taller than I am, he also bumps against restraints, while for example on Infusion he didn't, because the restraints are a lot lower. I personally bump my head on all restraints, the lower ones or this ones, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, but I'm not sure if I enjoyed it. The layout is really cool, the first drop is really cool and such, but it's just a pretty rough ride. So for example, Komali, which we did, was a lot more fun in my opinion, a lot more smooth. But Infusion, in my honest opinion, was not as good as this one. This one is still better in my opinion than Infusion, which we did in Pleasure Beach Resort. But anyway, not the best ride in this park, unfortunately. If I would have to choose, I would go for Millennium on the first spot and this one on the second spot, because Millennium is just a lot more smooth, although it doesn't provide any force. But anyway, I enjoyed Millennium a bit more than on the Odyssey here. Anyway, so the ranking, very clear. At the first spot, Millennium. At the second spot, the Odyssey. At the third spot, we have the Rhombus Rocket or something like that. And at the fourth spot, we have the Apple coaster. But it's very clear that the coasters from Fantasy Island are not worth the top 5 on the global UK ranking. So at this moment, I think Millennium is at the 16th spot from all the coasters in the UK we did so far. Anyway, we're here at the next part of today, buttons, but that's for the next video. See ya!